from the President of the United States. Let's discuss this with the former Mexican ambassador to the United States, Arturo Sorokin. Ambassador, thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure, Wolf.
What's your reaction to those strong words?
Well, I think the bilateral relationship is certainly at an inflection point. It's been a very productive, strategic, forward-looking relationship for the past 20 years, in part because of NAFTA, and also because of the security cooperation that we developed after 9/11. But obviously, with this ambush, with which high-level Mexican government officials were met with the decision to sign the executive orders regarding the wall, with this morning's tweet, it sort of poisons.
Why do you say it's an ambush? Donald Trump, when he was a candidate, he was promising in almost every speech, there'll be a wall and Mexico will pay for it.
It's an ambush because you're receiving the foreign minister and the economy minister to start talks to prepare for next week's visit with President.
The foreign minister arrived here in Washington.
The foreign minister and the economy minister
to have meetings with top officials at the White House, including Jared Kushner,
yes.
the senior advisor to the president. And you're saying that what?
That when they're landing, the White House is announcing that the next day the president will be signing the executive orders. And then this morning's tweet, which obviously complicates any context for the president to come up. There's no upside for either the Mexican president or even the U.S. president, Wolf, to meet when you don't have a full cabinet, a full U.S. cabinet in place. You don't have the agency officials that will be in charge of the day-to-day relationship. If the Mexican government, as President Peña Nieto has signaled, wants to talk about every single issue of the bilateral relationship, there's going to be no one to sit next to you at the table in a week that will be able to discuss that full-fledged holistic agenda.
Could you see some creative way that Mexico in the end will pay the $15 billion or whatever it costs to build that wall?
Look, Wolf, Mexico and the United States have done a lot of great things together. We can continue to do a lot of great things together. But one thing that you won't see Mexico and the United States doing together is building a wall. That's not going to happen. Mexican money is not going to cross the border. Mexican monies from the Treasury are not going to cross the border and fund the wall. What the United States, in its own sovereign right, does, either on border security or to try and use remittances or border adjustment tariffs to try and have Mexico pay for the wall, that's another story. But what you won't see is a transfer of Mexican resources from Mexico City to Washington,
D.C. Well, it sounds like that crisis in U.S.-Mexican relations is going to continue.
It is, and the problem is, Wolf, with a relationship as complex, as rich, with so many moving parts as this one, if you try and apply a chainsaw to it, you're going to end up cutting off your own foot. And Mexico isn't a global superpower, but we're not toothless. There are a lot of issues that could impact U.S. national security and U.S. economic interests if Mexico suddenly said, look, we're going to rethink the way that we've been working for the past 20 years.
Ambassador Sorokin, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll continue these conversations. Clearly, this crisis not going away. That's it for me. I'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern in the Situation Room for our international viewers.